You want to hear a story? Fine. But don't say I didn't warn you. This isn't the kind of tale you just put on in the background while you make dinner. This is what happens when ordinary people, the kind who smell like overpriced candles and HOA power trips, decide that someone like me is just a loose end waiting to be snipped. Let me ask you, ever had a group of people try to take everything you have, not because they need it, but because they think they can? Yeah, that's where this started. I've been working this farm since before most of those neighborhood folks could tell corn from crabgrass. My dad ran it, his dad before him, and when my father died, it was on me, learning the land, the weather, and all the ways hope can fall apart. Not exactly a fairy tale, but hey, some people are built for city lights, others for dirt and wind. Me? I chose dirt, and it gave me a peace I thought nobody could touch. But, as it turns out, peace is just an invitation for people with too much time and not enough decency. My land sat on the edge of one of those cookie-cutter neighborhoods. You know, the kind where every house looks like it was stamped out of plastic, and every lawn so perfect you'd think grass was a felony. That's where Karen comes in. No, not Karen. Like a joke, this woman could weaponize a bylaw. She ran the HOA board like it was the Supreme Court, only with less charm and more threats. The kind of person who could smell independence and take it personally. She'd march up to my property line, purse clutched like a Bible, and tell me my tractors were unsightly, my livestock unacceptable, my actual existence an eyesore. At first, I laughed it off. Maybe you've done that too. You try to believe people are just bored, not bad. But boredom isn't enough for folks like her. Every week, there was a new letter, a new fine, some new complaint about the way I lowered property values. I'd crumple the letters, toss them in the fire, tell myself you can't argue with crazy. Then came the envelope. Heavy paper, wax seal, all that fake class they think makes a threat look like an opportunity. Inside was a letter saying the HOA planned to develop a luxury resort right where my barn stood. And to do that, they'd be moving forward with an eviction. Eviction. As if I was just a squatter on the land my father built with his bare hands. They called it progress. I call it theft. Dressed up, perfumed, and stamped with legalese, but theft all the same. They offer me a sum that might have bought a condo, not a legacy. It was an order, not an offer. Sign here or else. No way. I wrote back that same day. Polite, sure, but so clear you could see right through it. I wasn't selling. Not now, not ever. Not for any price they could print on fancy letterhead. I figured that'd be the end of it, or at least that they'd realize I wasn't playing their game. Turns out, that was just me handing them an excuse to turn nasty. That's when Karen herself showed up. Heels stuck in mud, fake smile plastered on, voice as sweet as spoiled milk. She told me the board would do whatever necessary to get that land, and that compliance is easier than regret. You ever hear a threat so polished it almost sounds like advice? She left me there, standing on my own dirt, feeling like I was suddenly trespassing on my own life. After that, the letters ramped up. Weekly, then daily. Legal warnings, lawsuits, rumors about eminent domain. It was like they had an assembly line for harassment. I stopped answering. Silence, it turns out, is the only language bullies don't know how to translate. And that made them mad. One morning, I got a letter with no fluff, just a deadline. 7 days. Sell or face elimination. Elimination of what, exactly? They didn't say. But you don't need to be a genius to hear the threat underneath. That word stuck in my chest for days. So I did what I had to. Called my lawyer, spread every letter out on the table, recounted every chance meeting at my gate. He told me, document everything. I did. Cameras went up, gates reinforced, doors locked, which felt strange. This was the same place I'd grown up, but now every shadow felt heavier. Nights dragged on, every noise a question I couldn't answer. Soon enough, I noticed strange men on the edge of my fields. Not neighbors, not locals. One would stand by the fence, staring, tracing the lines like he was appraising the place. Another wore a hoodie in July. You can guess what kind of man wears a hoodie in July, standing just far enough from the road to not look suspicious. They'd leave if I came out, always too calm. That's when you know you're being watched, not just annoyed. Karen's letters stopped. Dead silence. The storm before the real storm. Then, one muggy night, the kind where your shirt sticks to you, and you want nothing more than a cold shower and a cold beer. My phone buzzed. Security alert. Movement near the cabin. Then again and again. I pulled up the camera feed. 3 men, all business. One had something wrapped in cloth, long and heavy. Another had an axe. This wasn't about trespassing. This was a job. I didn't panic. Panic's a waste. Grabbed my shotgun, left the front door open so they wouldn't think to check the back, and cut through the trees behind the barn. It was dark, but I could walk those fields blindfolded. My heart was pounding, sure, but not from fear. From anger. This was my line. My family's. I called the cops as I went, quiet as I could, whispering into the phone. The men reached the cabin, laughing, boots heavy. They didn't see me slip up to the side. I fired a warning shot through the wall. The night exploded, shouts, chaos. They rushed out, one waving a gun, another swinging the axe like he'd done this before. I fired again at the ground. Dirt and rock sprayed, and suddenly they realized I was out there, waiting. One charged, axe raised. I didn't hesitate, just did what years of hunting had taught me. He dropped like a sack of potatoes, eyes wide and empty. Another one tried to shoot back. Missed. I didn't. The third one froze, dropped his gun, started to sob. Sirens finally split the air, blue and red lights streaking through my fields. Deputies spilled out, guns drawn, voices loud. For the first time in months, I let myself breathe. The investigation was fast for once. Turns out, fear loosens tongues. Written confessions, all signed within 48 hours. Karen was named. So were 3 board members. Conspiracy, payments, the whole twisted plan laid out like rotten fruit. Months later, in court, Karen looked smaller. The judge didn't smile. 38 years, no parole till year 30. 4.3 million in restitution. Every penny counted, right down to my legal bills and sleepless nights. Her house, her cars seized. Board members got their own sentences. Some took deals, others tried to tough it out. The one who helped them, he got 32 years. The others less, but not much. One man, the one who swung the axe, he didn't walk out at all. Funny how karma arrives on its own schedule. The HOA? Dissolved, gone, oversight forever. Resort plans vanished into paperwork and shame. Me? I replanted, fixed what was broken. Every sunrise since has felt like an apology from the world. Not that everything's okay. You can't erase a threat like that. But some mornings when the mist hangs low, I walk the fence line and remember what it felt like to almost lose everything. And here's the thing. I always thought justice was slow, clumsy, half-blind. But sometimes when people step over a line and forget that consequences exist, justice bites back, fast and hard. You can take away money, titles, even freedom, but you can't unring a bell. You can't make the ground forget the blood it drank. I got my land back. They lost everything trying to take it. Call it karma. Call it self-defense. But here's my question for you. Was that justice? Or just another power game? Different players? Higher stakes? Would you have held your ground? Or walked away when the world told you to bow? I want to hear your story. Ever had someone try to take what's yours just because they could? Tell me where your line is. Because sometimes it turns out the only thing standing between you and the wolves is how loud you're willing to howl.
Cảm ơn tất cả các bạn đã xem video.